This is Fieldsports Channel News. A hunt founded 230 years ago is being disbanded because of urbanisation. The Mennell and South Staffordshire Hunt says it will join forces with the North Staffordshire, South Notts and Moorlands hunts, with all of its hounds to be rehomed. In a statement, it said the move was due to increasing urbanisation and development across the countryside. Staff will remain employed until the 1st of May. The Mennell family founded the hunt in 1793. Its current Sudbury kennels were built in 1872, when it became a subscription hunt, and it merged with the South Staffordshire in 1970. The UK Bluefin Tuna Association has welcomed the news that the government has committed to continue with the catch, release and tag programme. The proposals will be considered as part of the submission to the International Commission for the Conservation of Atlantic Tunas. The CHART programme will include a quota of 10 tonnes of bluefin tuna, but the UK BTA says it is disappointed that the government has chosen to prioritise a pilot commercial fishery while continuing to fail to deliver a full recreational catch and release fishery. It says a sport fishery will deliver greater economic benefits to coastal communities. The association is also concerned that the commercial fishery will target 3 to 4-year-old fish that may not have spawned.
We've got no philosophical objection to a commercial bluefin fishery at some stage on a small scale and tightly controlled. We're really disappointed that they've chosen to prioritise this fishery while failing to deliver a recreational catch and release fishery, which is something that the Minister is supporting and which is going to create a huge amount more revenue for the economy of Cornwall than a small pilot commercial fishery would.
Shooters can stop the Welsh Government banning an essential tool that could help save the curlew. Humane cable restraints are due to be banned alongside other types of snares in the Agriculture Bill in July. The GWCT says it has evidence that curlew cannot recover in Wales without the responsible use of the restraints to control predators. It's calling for their continued use under licence, is lobbying politicians and says there is still time to amend the bill. The Trust is appealing for members of the shooting community to take part in the public consultation on the regulation of game bird releases in Wales. The consultation is likely to be launched by Natural Resources Wales in March and will be open for 12 weeks.
All methods of fox control are really important, but at certain times of the year, certain methods are a preferred option. So if you think about the spring of the year, when we have ground nesting birds, curlews, etc., that coincides when the cover's growing, and certain methods such as trying to shoot with a gun are difficult because you just can't see the foxes. That's when humane cable restraints are really at the most effective.
The National Trust has announced it's banning grouse shooting on 1,600 acres of its land in the Peak District. It has not renewed the tenancy at the Park Hall estate near Glossop. The charity says it has concerns over its shooting tenants' management techniques and that the aims of the shoot tenant did not align with the National Trust's ambitions for the nature, beauty and history of the Peak District. The RSPB has published an article claiming that its investigation team found rat poison in the badger set in the area. Derbyshire Police investigated the RSPB claim and decided not to bring criminal charges. Shooting organisations are on alert to look out for bias in David Attenborough's new wildlife series. The RSPB part-funded the Wild Isles series, which starts in the UK on Sunday night, the 12th of March 2023, and may use it to promote its anti-gamekeeper campaign. Anti-hunting groups have been keen to co-opt Sir David, who has been pro-hunting until now, especially big game hunting, which he recently supported in a clip on ITV.
The early hunters in the empire, as it then was, were the first conservationists, and they founded the first conservation movements long before the World Wildlife Fund.
However, there are fears the RSPB money may sway him to make anti-shooting statements. Anglers are celebrating that the National Trust is reopening a fishery after 4 years. The National Trust closed the lake at the Malham Tarn estate in the Yorkshire Dales during the pandemic, saying it was going to take time to consider the future of fishing. The statement rang alarm bells with anglers. The Trust carried out a survey in 2021, which generated more than 300 responses. It has now announced that it's seeking a third party to run the fishery with strict biosecurity procedures in place that may hinder restocking. Despite the limitations, Tim Bonner, Chief Executive of the Countryside Alliance, welcomes the news.
It's critically important to Malham Tarn, to the rivers of Yorkshire, to all the waterways of the United Kingdom, that there are fishermen and angling continues to thrive, because fishermen are the first indicators they're the people who spot biodiversity decline. They are the canaries in the mine. And the brilliant campaign run by Fergal Sharkey and many others to highlight the dumping of raw sewage in our rivers is a classic example of that. The government is being forced to take action because of the issues raised by anglers. So generally, anglers do a lot of practical day-to-day conservation work, but they also are the people who raise the issues long before many others about the degradation of our waterways.
A Scottish estate covered in Fieldsports News has sold to a rewilding company for £10.5 million. Highlands Rewilding bought the Tayvalloch estate in Argyll. It raised part of the money through crowdfunding. The new owner says it plans to restore the 3,500-acre estate's natural environment. It already owns 2 Scottish estates. Residents on the estate were concerned that the company would sack estate workers and plant forestry for lucrative carbon offset payments. After meetings with company representatives, some are now hopeful Highlands Rewilding will protect the community.
I think it's important that jobs and communities are placed at the heart of any transactions. Reports that Highlands Rewilding intends to close the purchase of Tayvalloch Estate by the end of this month may cause alarm bells to ring and smacks of a lack of consideration for the community. We know that in terms of environmental benefit and biodiversity, rewilding is less effective than properly managing the land, and in many cases can be harmful to jobs and livelihoods.
3 years into a 5-year pledge to phase out lead shot in game shooting, and still most pheasants are shot with lead. That's the conclusion of a Cambridge University study, which found that 94% of pheasants on sale it bought at a supermarket contained lead. In 2020, 9 shooting and field sports groups agreed voluntarily to phase out lead. In the new study, a team of 17 volunteers bought more than 350 pheasants from butchers, game dealers and supermarkets across the UK in 2022-2023. They dissected the birds at home and recovered embedded shotgun pellets. Lead was the main element in 94% of the recovered shot pellets. The remaining 6% were predominantly composed of steel or bismuth. Sweden has issued licences for hunters to kill 201 lynx. The permissions last throughout March and are more than double the number issued previously. Antis are opposing the licences and are asking the EU to take action against Sweden for breaching environmental law. The Swedish Environmental Protection Agency says that there are around 1,450 lynx in the country, and it needs only 870 animals to maintain a healthy population. Thanks to Per Holmseth for the story. Shooters who've hunted in South Africa have been asked to take part in a survey. Professional Hunters Association of South Africa Foundation is appealing for hunters to answer questions about their experience. The foundation is conducting the survey with Northwest University near Joburg. It says that if international hunters complete the survey, it will ensure an adequate amount of data. It aims to assess the socio-economic impact of hunting tourism on the private wildlife tourism industry of South Africa. The new issue of Patrol is out. This email magazine covering anti-poaching measures in Africa launched in 2020 and highlights what's happening in Mozambique, Namibia, Zimbabwe and Tanzania. Among articles and videos, it includes the University of Oxford study examining the private sector's role in anti-poaching. Link below. And finally, foxhounds are top of the list of show dogs most at risk of extinction. The Kennel Club operates a national register of pedigreed dogs. Just one show foxhound puppy born in the UK in the last 5 years is registered on the latest list. The Kennel Club says the English foxhound originated 200 years ago from greyhounds, terriers and bulldogs. Happily, the breed is alive and well thanks to fox hunting and trail hunting. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.